On June the 15th, 1862, the gold escort with its valuable cargo was held up at Eugowra Rocks. It was one of the richest robberies in Australian history. The coach and its contents were guarded by 4 troopers. This was just one example of the lawlessness that prevailed on the Lachlan goldfields after gold was discovered in 1861. An estimated 30,000 people from all nations descended on the area. About 1/3 were miners, the rest storekeepers and service providers, as well as a small number of women and children. You can imagine that this number of people, mixed with an abundance of rough grog, was a recipe for trouble. So, what did the government of the day propose to do about this state of affairs? Part of its response was to create a single law enforcement agency, the New South Wales Police Service, out of the then separate law enforcement agencies. After much debate through Parliament, the new legislation took effect in March 1862. A letter in the Sydney Morning Herald in this year notifies an increase in the number of police in Forbes by 12 foot police and 10 mounted police. Money was also provided for stables, courthouse and a lockup. This new breed of troopers did not have an easy existence, as they were underpaid, under-resourced and expected to work under very harsh conditions. In many cases they were not treated with compassion or respect by the public. Many did not last in the job for very long. The police, however, did realise the ability and tracking skills of First Nations people, the black trackers. These men were responsible for not only tracking down criminals but also locating lost children and others in the bush. In many cases, they were not treated well, and their stories unfortunately have been lost. The late Amelia Smith and her friend Freda Willis had memories of one of the last of the trackers, Dick Grant, and also the police paddocks, located near the present Red Bend Catholic College.
Black tracker, Dick Grant, had the police paddocks where this college is now, and he had all the police horses. See, the mounted police were there, and Dick Grant was the black tracker. He used to track all the police and everything, had the show there then.
Were there any buildings still down there then?
Well, yes, there was the little tents and that.
Unfortunately, nothing remains of the old buildings in the area, and most memories of the police paddocks and trackers have gone. They were a vital part of early policing and should be remembered. The first police in Forbes were housed in the area where our town hall now stands, with huts and tents extending into the now Victoria Park, as shown in this 1862 sketch map. This building is similar to our first lockup, which was known as the Logs, for obvious reason. Our courthouse was commissioned in 1880, and the new adjacent police barracks and lockup, then known as the Footmen's Quarters and Lockup, in 1898. Our previous lockup and courthouse did not have a very good reputation, as a report from the day states. The Forbes lockup. There are 3 cells, it seems, in this precious department of the government service. The largest cell is 8 foot by 10 foot, height 9 foot 6 inches. In that cell, in a recent visit, 6 male prisoners had been confined. Hours after removal of the prisoners into the adjoining yard, the stench was intolerable. With the intense heat prevailing everywhere, it could only be compared to the unfortunates who suffered in the black hole of Calcutta. The old courthouse also copped to serve in the Sydney Mail, October 1878. Nor should I omit to mention the courthouse, a subject of universal complaint in the town. It is built of wood and wretchedly insufficient in accommodation. I was shown where a prisoner standing handcuffed in the dock might, with a blow with his 2 fists, if so inclined, brain the Crown Prosecutor while addressing the jury. However, This is soon to be remedied by a vote of £8,000 by Parliament for a new courthouse. And it was certainly £8,000 well spent, because with its heritage facade and magnificent coat of arms, the courthouse is definitely worth a look. Police uniforms have changed over the years, starting with the simple outfits of the mounted police and then progressing through heavy serge military styles to the comfortable apparel worn by today's officers. The mounted police were often outrun by bushrangers on thoroughbred horses they had stolen in the early days. However, in later years the New South Wales Police Force managed to keep up with the latest and most efficient forms of transport. From motorbikes to the latest and fastest motor vehicles, they have been well equipped. Some memories are still strong, however, of big, burly highway patrol officers trying to fit in the small Mini Coopers that were provided to them in the 1970s. Do yourself a favour while in Forbes and take a stroll past our courthouse and police station precinct, which adjoins Victoria Park. It is well worth it. The police in Forbes are a vital part of our community and are certainly well respected. We all appreciate their presence and devotion to duty.